I am Dr. Maureen Mswela, the co-lecturer for Professional Ethics 4802. For those of you who wish to contact me in connection with the material in the study guide or any other queries, you are welcome to contact me. My particulars are in tutorial letter 101. I will be taking you through learning Unit 5 of the study guide, which deals with examples of situations that are open for unethical conduct within the legal profession. Let us turn our study guides to page 52. On page 52, we discuss the referral rule. Those of you who might have gone through the past examination papers might have noticed that we love asking the referral rule. We love asking questions on the referral rule. For a possible 5-mark question, we could ask you to explain what the referral rule is. We expect you to understand the functions and the differences in role between an advocate and an attorney. For example, we expect you to generally explain that an advocate cannot be briefed directly by a client, while an attorney can be briefed directly by a client, as they are the first port of call when one needs legal advice. Therefore, it is clear that the profession of an advocate is a referral profession. However, I would like to draw your attention or to remind you of what Professor Slabert has just said. The coming into force of the Legal Practice Act brought changes to the referral rule. The Legal Practice Act now provides for 3 categories of lawyers. The first category refers to attorneys who have a trust account and a fidelity fund. The second category refers to an advocate with a trust account and a fidelity fund. And the last category refers to advocates without a trust account and without a fidelity account. Of the 3 categories, only the advocate with a trust account and the attorney with a trust account and fidelity account can consult directly with a client. Can we stop? Of the 3 categories of legal practitioners, only the advocates and the attorneys with the trust account and the fidelity accounts can consult directly with clients. Let's move on to page 53 of the study guide, where we explain trust accounts. We expect you to understand the purpose of trust accounts. We also expect you to be able to understand and to explain how trust accounts are managed. We could ask you for a possible 2 marks to explain what trust funds are. Therefore, you should be able in 2 points to explain what trust funds are. Just after the discussion on trust accounts, we explain reasonable fees. We urge you to read this section, and you must be able to understand the factors that advocates take into account when determining reasonable fees. For 3 marks, we could ask you to explain the factors which an advocate considers when determining reasonable fees. Let's turn our study guides to page 50. Let us turn our study guides to page 54. Under confidentiality, we discussed the attorney's duty of confidentiality as well as the client's corresponding right to confidentiality. Under this section, we could ask you a possible 10-mark question on the duty of confidentiality between a client and an attorney. We expect you to give 10 facts for 10 marks. Let us turn our study guides to page 55. After reading page 55, the top part of page 55 particularly, you should be able to discuss the relevant statutes that compel lawyers to disclose what would be confidential information or privileged information. On page 55, we discuss conflict of interest. We can ask for 3 marks for you to explain what a conflict of interest is. On page 56, we discuss the situations under which a conflict of interest may arise. We can therefore ask you for 2 marks to explain the situations under which a conflict of interest may arise. We could combine a question which requires an explanation of what a conflict of interest is with a question which asks you to identify the situations under which a conflict of interest can occur. On page 58, we discuss contingency fee agreements. The first thing that you see under the heading contingency fee agreements is a list of prescribed readings. I would like to emphasize that the prescribed reading material should be downloaded and it should be read. We have uploaded the prescribed reading material on my UNISA, and we expect you to read the material as we might ask questions on the prescribed reading material in the exam. For a possible 5-mark question, we could ask you to explain what the contingency fee agreements entail. We could ask you to explain the pros and the cons of a contingency agreement. Importantly, the Masango case. We expect you to read this case as it is prescribed. We also expect you to be able to relate this case as we might ask you a 5-mark question on this case. Just to wind up my discussion, learning Unit 5 is one of the easiest parts of the study guide. The questions that we might possibly ask will be straightforward. If we ask you a 5-mark question, we expect you to give 5 points in your answer. If we ask you a 10-mark question, we expect you to give us 10 points in the answer. Please stick to the study guides and stick to the facts. Good luck. If any of you has questions that they want to ask, we are always in our offices. You are welcome to contact either via email or through the telephone. Thank you.